Hello and welcome to a new series called Curious Kinships. So, in this series, I want to talk about ragas that have some kind of curious connection between them. Well, at least curious to me. So, it could either be in terms of some aesthetic similarities that are unexpected or surprising, or in terms of some bridge or link that's interesting. So, the ragas that I want to talk about today, that is Gambhiranattai and Mayamalavagowla, fall in the latter category. So it's not so much that they are similar, but I think there's some interesting connection between the two. So Gambhiranattai is quite a simple and a straightforward scale, right? It's pentatonic. It goes sa ga ma pa ni sa ni pa ma ga sa, right? But even though it's quite simple, it's really beautiful and it's very majestic and regal, true to its name. There's a lot of Gambhiram associated with it, right? So two popular compositions are Shri Jalandharamashrayamyaham Jalajaksham Shri. And then, of course, Shri Vignarajam Bhaje. Shri Vignarajam Bhajeham, 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 Bhaje Tamiha Shri Vignarajam Bhaje. So this is of course also been used quite a bit in film music. My favorite song is Innum Ennai Enna Seyya Pogirai. And that's quite interesting because there I don't hear Gambhiranattai as in its very majestic version. It's softer, it's more romantic. It's more a little more mellow, I think. But it's really beautiful, and especially the orchestration is just brilliant. The visuals, on the other hand, are all kinds of cringe, and I won't go there. But இன்னும் என்னை என்ன செய்ய போகிறாய் அன்பே அன்பே na 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 சொல்லு சொல்லு சிங்காரவேலா. So what does this have to do with Mayamalavagowla? On the face of it, they seem like very different ragas, and for good reason. I think they are. Mayamalavagowla is a lot more pensive. I find it very, sort of mellow and contemplative. And of course, it's the raga that we all begin learning Carnatic music with. So, technically, if you notice, if you just remove the Ri and the Da in Mayamalavagowla, you get Gambhiranattai. So, technically, Gambhiranattai can be seen as a Janyam of Mayamalavagowla. But it's not. It's considered a Janyam of Chalanattai. And again, I think for good reason. Gambhiranattai is frequently associated with that Nattai family of ragas, right? So, Nattai itself and Chalanattai. And also Tilang is another, I think allied raga. But there's a rule that says that a ragam should be considered a janyam of a qualifying Melakarta raga that appears first on the list, right? So I think Mayamalavagowla qualifies, the notes match up, qualifies as a Melakarta raga of Gambhiranattai. And interestingly, it appears before Chalanattai in our list of 72 Melakartas, right? Mayamalavagowla is number 15, but Chalanattai is number 36. So technically speaking, it looks like Gambhiranattai should be a Janyam of Mayamalavagowla. But of course, I won't read too much into it. I don't take this Janyam Melakarta Raga relationship itself very seriously. A lot of the time it doesn't make sense. And particularly this rule, doesn't make a lot of sense, many times. But still, I think it's just an interesting observation to note that, Mayamalavagowla can be, technically speaking, considered a Janyam of, Gambhiranattai can be, technically speaking, considered a Janyam of Mayamalavagowla. But the connection between the two ragas that I want to talk about here doesn't end there. It's not just theoretical or technical. Ilayaraja has actually made very interesting use of this connection, and I can think of at least 3 songs. So the first one I want to talk about is Poongadave. In all these songs, what is interesting is the prelude starts off sounding somewhat like Gambhiranattai, and then it goes into the Mayamalavagowla territory. So let's start with Poongadave. I'll just play a few seconds of the prelude. Pamagamapa, gamapanipa, sanipamaga, sagamapa, pamagamaga, sagamapa, sanipamagamaga. Right? So that's all Gambhiranattai. And then of course it goes to Pungadave Taltiravai. So Mada. So the Daivatam comes in, and then the rest of the song is, I think, roughly we can categorize it as Mayamalavagowla. The second song that shows this similar connection is Kadal Kavithaigal, another very beautiful song. So again, let me just play the first few seconds of the song. Gapasa sani sa pa sani sa pa sani sa pa ni sa ga ma pa ma ga sani pa ma ga ma pa sa sa. Until there, it seems to be, in Gambhiranattai, and then pa ma ga ma pa sa sa ni sa ri sa ni sa ri sa ni sa ri sa, and then there that Rishabham comes in, and then of course the rest of the song I think is pretty much in Mayamalavagowla. The third song I want to talk about is the song called Nandri Solla Unakku. So here again the initial chanting, as you can see, is like all completely in Gambhiranattai, and then that interesting connection that bridges the prelude to the song, there you start hearing Mayamalavagowla notes, particularly the Daivatam, and I think also the Rishabham. So those were three songs where I found it interesting, to see this link between Gambhiranattai and Mayamalavagowla. But of course, the astute Carnatic mind would have realized that there's nothing new in all this. We have ragas in Carnatic that, link Gambhiranattai and Mayamalavagowla, namely Jaganmohini, Kamala Manohari, and also, I think, Sindhu Ramakriya. So Jaganmohini goes Sagama Panisa. So the Arohanam of Gambhiranattai. Sani Pamagari Sa. So you have that re coming in. You don't have the Daivatam, but you have that, Rishabham. So of course the most popular song is Shobhilu Saptaswara. Shobhilu Saptaswara. Shobhilu Saptaswara. Shobhilu Kamabani Sani Pamagari Sa. Right? So that very nicely, that Sangati shows the Arohanam Avarohanam. And then Kamala Manohari is, again, the Arohanam is Sagama Panisa, and then in the Avarohanam you have, instead of the Rishabham, you have the Daivatam. Sanida Pamagasa. Of course, the famous song is Kanchadalaya Dakshi. Kanchadalaya Dakshi. And then we also have Shankaram Abhirami Manoharam. Right? And then there is Sindhu Ramakriya, which is relatively, less common, I think. Devadi Deva is a popular song in that. Devadi Deva Sada Shiva. I'm not entirely sure of the Arohanam Avarohanam of Sindhu Ramakriya. I think it's Sagama Padanisa. So you have the Daivatam on the way up. Sani Pamagasa is what I hear in some phrases, by some artists, in Devadi Deva and also Sudha Madhurya. But I think there is also a Vakra, or a zigzag, usage or pattern on the way down where you also have the Daivatam. So, Sani Pada Pamagasa. I think so maybe that is the scale of Sindhu Ramakriya. So I think Gambhiranattai and Mayamalavagowla are not ragas that you would immediately associate with each other, but I thought it would be, fun talking about some interesting connections between the two. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and thank you for watching.